Welcome to the Great Civil War, my friends. We're continuing to try to actually refill these armies, but as you can see, there's only a certain amount of men that we actually have as volunteers here, and we actually even have a group of deserters, which I find pretty interesting. But you can see that our largest group of volunteers is about 1,756 from Indian Territory. Really not nearly enough to keep these men in the field for long. So I think in terms of building armies, we're going to remain calm here. We're just going to kind of hold on. As you can imagine, every day, every week, every month that passes, there's a chance that some of these states are going to join us. Not to mention that the amount of volunteers is going to be increased little by little. So I am, of course, bringing that army of the Shenandoah back. I think we've done more than enough damage, and he's actually ready to head out again. But we're going to keep him here. Got a bunch of men disabled. Over time, we can get the medical attention. You can actually see some of them returning back to the fight. And I also want to just overall add some more men to this army of the Shenandoah. The army of the Potomac, as an example, however, is doing unbelievably well. We've got 22,130 men here, and we're absolutely prepared for a large battle. Of course, we could keep adding to this force, but I'm not so sure I want to attack with this force the way we did over here with the army of the Shenandoah. I think for now, we just have to kind of remain pretty calm for the next couple of turns, the next couple of months, weeks, etc., I should say. And we've also got that secondary fleet over here, as you can see, trying to stop the Union blockade. So let's take a look here. 2 ships, 3 ships, just not enough to really do much to that large Union blockade. We'll have more guys show up, but overall, I think the Gulf is going to be shut down for quite some time. What do we got here? I'm not sure I want to just go for an instant loss there in that battle. In the west, there's another issue going on, and that's we've got the Missouri State Guard in the Western Army. What I want to do is actually just merge these guys together. Just go ahead and have these two forces join up. But since we gave most of our units to the Army of the Shenandoah, we're going to have to just basically get by with about 10,000 men here in the west. And what I'd like to do is I'd like to head back out and try and attack the Army of the Mississippi. The problem is this particular part of the country at the time, and very well reflected in the game, it's not exactly very developed. So the second that we head out into this area, we're taking serious resource damage. Just supply damage, basically, because we can't get supplies to that area very easily. Besides that, things are fairly calm right now, and we're kind of just waiting for the Union to make a move, if anything. In fact, if it comes down to it, we can attack with Johnson again, and I'm thinking we might have to hit the West Virginia militia here. Another option is to rebuild Garnett's command and try and take Grafton. We don't even need to give him that many men, frankly. Okay, beautiful. That's good to hear. So Johnston is out of Union territory. Don't have to worry about him getting hit, although the Union lost a good 10 to 20,000 men just because of his command, just because of how effective a leader he is. And over here, he's getting some excellent supply, so I want to keep him in this situation. Telegraph. Now, the men are unhappy, but give them time, and they will improve. As you can see, there's a lot of disabled soldiers just from the previous round of battle. 2 battles that this army had to withstand, and now, as you can see, their readiness is quickly climbing again. So I'm actually going to take a look there, Army of the Shenandoah. Let's see if things have improved. We haven't let time go too quickly, but let's go over here. Alright, that's our armies in the west. Let's go over to the military panel. And let's take a look here at Johnston. Again, the best we're going to do is probably going to be Indian Territory here. And we've already got, well, we had a cavalry unit in the previous army, but I don't believe we had a cavalry unit in Johnston's army. Although, as you can see, we need 2,500 recruits for that particular, this particular unit type. So So I think we're going to have to wait, guys, and that's quite normal here. I mean, we are in the American Civil War. Things aren't just going to happen day to day, so I'm going to increase speed just a bit here, get through a few days, and keep in mind, I do edit this series, so there could just be times when I go ahead and just auto-skip a couple of days, weeks, etc. Funding policy selected. The Confederate credit rating improved. Printing new banknotes made possible. Oh, well. The Confederate government funding has improved, guys. I think this may have been one of the focuses we had before. Just to be certain, I'm going to drop back down there to normal speed. But it does look like our finances are doing quite well. Of course, we're never going to be up to Union finances unless we start taking some of their territory. But it's not awful. Things could be much worse, and even with 16 blockades. Now, this is why we need to do something, and I had brought a fleet over of, I believe, 13 ships. What in the world am I doing? All right, well, we'll do this. That works, too. But, for whatever reason, it never got over here, and I wonder... Well, this might be one of the fleets I tried to bring over, and I just don't think he's going to make it through. So this might just be a river fleet. Let's try to do that. We'll just head out of this blockade and then try and head out from there. And again, let's also make sure that policies are working as intended. Yep, we're still focusing on that regulars, guys, and we've almost finished researching it. I'm hoping once we finish this actual research of regulars, we're going to be able to hire a number of different units, and not just volunteers, of course. Now, I'm not sure if I can select focuses on each of these. We've already got some of the auto focuses going on, but my fear is that if we go here, we stop focusing on regulars. Let's try. Okay, nope, that seems to work fine. Let's do that. The Terrifact. Initially, we had selected the government funding, which I think just occurred, if I'm not mistaken. That's why we got the little bonus there. And now... So industrialization is going to take a while. I think I want to focus on agricultural focus initially. Go to King Cotton 2. Now, impressment actually allows us to order guys into the army. You can see a lot of these focuses are kind of happening already. Letter of Marque essentially allows our men to become pirates without having to worry about being considered pirates by other nations. They would have to accept them as just soldiers of an actual navy, etc. Alright, any suggestions for the Confederate state policies, let us know below. I will also be micromanaging this on my own a bit, but I know you guys often like to watch it. In fact, let's just auto-manage it and see what happens. I'm pretty sure it's going to finish up that particular focus on regulars. I hope so. And we'll trust the AI to do its thing until you guys give some recommendations below. Although I don't think it's something we're going to have too much disagreement on, let's say. We probably have more or less the same idea of how to improve the South. Okay, guys, well, we got the Army of the Potomac. We've also got, look at that, looks like the Army of Northeastern Virginia joining up with the Department of Pennsylvania here. And that's over 27,000, 30,000 something men. Yeah, about 37,000 men, give or take. There's no way we could stand up to something like that if they attacked. So maybe instead of sending men to other armies, we have to continue strengthening the Army of the Potomac here. I was hoping we could focus on the Army of the Shenandoah. Yeah, but that looks a little tougher. We'll try to add a unit. Let's see if any more volunteers have shown up. Unfortunately, just not enough draftees to really go off. We're almost close to having enough draftees from Tennessee or Texas. But again, even then, if we get just 2,500, it's not necessarily going to be enough to keep them in the fight. Now, here with this unit, we can absolutely go and get a North Carolina unit. I'm just going to make this one a standard infantry. Let's recruit. Okay, not bad. Cheatham's brigade. And we're going to do the same with the Army of the Potomac. Even though the Army of the Potomac is extremely strong, now that I see them making those purchases, or those movements with those large armies, I want to make sure that we are absolutely ready. And I believe one mention was we need cavalry units, so let's get a North Carolina cavalry. There we go. All right, quite a lot of men from North Carolina willing to join our glorious cause. You've gotta love that, folks. If I can, I'll purchase even more Let's just see quickly. I want to get just good old-fashioned infantry, and if not, I'll settle for some cannons, as a matter of fact. Yeah, we're going to be waiting a bit. So for now, I'll go to South Carolina, and I'll just get an artillery unit. There we go. All right, folks. We're going to have a bunch of nice guns in that army, and hopefully we'll have an army fit to face the Federals here fairly soon. Well, let's just keep busting on through, let the days go by. Obviously, we want to get these armies trained, and maybe we'll have to do what we were doing in these previous episodes and just take a chunk out of the enemy forces, just head out with one of these units, and do some damage. I also really want to select one of the armies in the west and put a serious focus there. Really start, you know, pumping it up with manpower, with artillery, all sorts of good stuff, and then we'll send them raiding, because there are so many locations here in the Western Territories that, despite not being the best supplied area in the world, if we took over them, we would do some major damage to the enemy and get a bunch of nice industrial goods into our own territory. So I really hope to be able to send out Leonidas Polk, and look at that, 8,000 men, man, that's not bad. Maybe good old Leonidas Polk is getting ready himself for an attack. I think we can get that up to 12 or 13,000 guys, and then maybe our goal should be to take the capital here of Kentucky, Louisville. It's not Louisville, it's Louisville. We're going to take Louisville there, and I believe that would give us the state of Kentucky entirely. Now, I think we found a way to strike back here in the south while we're waiting for these armies to do their thing. And that is, we're going to have to take Leonidas Polk, and we're going to have to hit the Union over here in Kentucky. Now, one interesting thing is, despite being across the border here in Northern Territory, the town of Bowling Green is actually pro-Confederate. And that means that if we move there with Polk's command, we should be able to get some pretty decent supplies, etc. In fact, even if we move up over here to Hopkinsville, we're also still in Confederate territory. Basically, it is officially federal territory, but the people sympathize with Confederacy in those areas, so we should have no issue with the manpower. I'm thinking also, you know, regardless of the manpower, we need to attack over here, start messing with some of the Union territory, etc. The fact is that if we don't move soon, the Union's going to be a whole lot faster, obviously. Not to mention that I think it's important to start harassing the enemy now. If we just wait for reinforcements to arrive or for volunteers to show up, that's going to take forever here. Now, what I was hoping that we could take some of these naval units and smash through whatever the hell the Union has here. But man, they've got 7 ships there. I'm guessing those guys are not going to be easy ships to destroy. But then again, like, this heavy ship is giving me some hope. This one right here, the General Clinch, that we could actually knock him out. I think we'll just kind of sail around for a bit and decide what we want to do there afterwards, but I'm absolutely certain on the Polk's command option, we're moving Polk forward, hopefully to destroy some Union terrain here, to wreak havoc to the Federals here if we can, but it's taken them a while to get up this damn road. Things move a little slower in the south, ain't that the truth? That's going to be our ships for sure. Yep, it's Ingram. And let's just have a look over here. So again, the situation is pretty much as we expected it. The Army of the Potomac still looking really strong. 25,000 men now. Still a lot of men in transit. We could do just what we did in the beginning here and just go ahead and send Joseph E. Johnston out. In fact, I'm just going to quickly check. It's been a couple of days. I've fast-forwarded a bit faster than expected, if you guys didn't realize, and see if there's any willing participants. We're so close with Tennessee. A couple more days and Tennessee will have enough volunteers for us to raise a good old-fashioned infantry squad, and considering we saw Johnston in previous battles perform extremely well with his infantry units, I think we absolutely want to go for some additional, just good old boots on the ground, basically, to get Johnston to his full strength. Now let's get a quick look at Polk here. He should be at his destination. Yep. Pretty close in any case. There we go. Now the question is, do we go for Louisville, Kentucky? Do we go for the capital of the state? Or do we keep our distance and hope that a somewhat weaker Union army passes through? I think both are good options. The one place I'm uncertain of my options is going to be over here with the Army of the Shenandoah. I'm not sure if we should necessarily move forward with them and keep on harassing the Union, or maybe we should look elsewhere, but it's a consideration no matter what. Now, 245 disabled, that means that while we are getting some supplies in this area, it's not nearly as welcoming as we would have liked. So I am going to approach Louisville from the south and kind of just see what we spot here. If things are extremely dangerous, we'll try to fall back, though I'm not entirely sure that's going to be an option. And over here in the Mississippi, I just want to keep our eyes on what's going on. We do have the Mississippi State Guard here, Missouri State Guard, pardon me. Let's move them over here with our Western Army, and I think our Western Army also needs some special attention pretty soon. If we get 10,000 men in there, I think we could easily take out these Union armies to the west. So again, it's completely up to you guys in the comments down below. Believe it or not, a lot of the recommendations you make end up being part of our campaign, essentially. And right now, there's not too much we can do except, well, kind of wait for these reinforcements to arrive, for the volunteers to show up at these armies willing and ready to fight, and obviously for our research to continue a little bit faster. Can we get those troops yet? No, it's going to be a little while longer, it seems. Maybe it goes by a weekly basis before new volunteers show up. Nonetheless, I want to thank everybody for stopping by this series. I hope you guys are enjoying it. Not every single episode can be a battle or a glorious, siege or anything like that, or even a glorious naval battle. This one is really just about the good old bureaucracy of the South and how we're going to approach from here. And I've definitely got my eyes on that West Virginia militia. It might just be 834 men, but I get the feeling they're going to send them over here to try and harass us. We've also still got the Army of the Northwest that arguably is in one of the best positions for any of these Western armies. However, not many men there. Only 1,276, all cavalry. So you know what? I might just move them out pretty soon and start harassing the Union over here in Marietta, Georgia, Grafton, Virginia, etc. And see if we can't just stop those supplies from heading out. But so far, this turn at least, these last couple of weeks have been pretty peaceful. Let's see if we can't get some blood spilled fairly soon. God save the South, my friends, and I'll see you in the next video.